It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name's Dan Dunmoyer, and I have the privilege of serving as the President and CEO of the California Building Industry Association, known as CBIA. And we're an organization here located in Sacramento, and we serve a number of home builders in the building industry in the state of California as their chief advocate. So just to give you some insight into what my world's like, and I realize some of you are thinking home building, you're looking at architectural, engineering, etc. You're looking at whether it's building, framing, plumbing, electrical, and please do, because that's a great way to look at it. But because it's so difficult to build housing in California, I want to take you to my world just very quickly. When I said we're advocates for the home building industry, it means that we try to explain to government officials why it's so difficult to build, why it takes so long to build in California, why it costs so much to build. And even if you become, let's say you want to become your own builder, your own developer, you're going to have to convince the city council to approve your project, probably the county supervisor. You may have to go to a state agency and say, hey, we're not hurting the species by the way we're building, or we're going to build a pond that will generate more species. You've got to be some of the most creative people on the planet to be part of the home building industry, the development community, because you have to bring solutions. And so, even if you love to be an architect, or you love to be an engineer, or you want to, put plumbing into a house, in order for all that to happen, you've got to convince the government, local, state, and federal, that you're doing the right thing for this community. So you need to view yourself as part of that process. And the ones who truly succeed in this industry are people who can translate what they're doing into a product that helps society. And that's kind of what we do at the California Building Industry Association, is we help bridge the gap between a piece of land or a community into something that is a home for individuals, for families, whether it's a high rise in San Francisco or small apartments or whatever it might be. So, from a lobbying perspective, from advocacy perspective, that's also a great way for you to get involved in this industry. And if you like that, you can have a ton of fun explaining what you're trying to create for the community in a way that's tangible to elected officials, and get from a concept to a home somebody can move into, you can hand the key to. And that's an exciting part of what we do and what we're trying to do at the California Building Industry Association. So the California Building Industry Association is important for the building industry for a couple of reasons. One, we represent home builders in everything that goes into building a home, whether that's the appliances, whether it's architects, engineers, all components of a home building process. And our importance is that we make it easier and more affordable to build homes in California by working with the legislative and the regulatory process that establishes all the rules and regulations one needs to follow if they are to build a home, or build the appliances in the home, or the solar panels on the roof of the home, all aspects of the home building program. So we provide great value by helping home builders in the building industry better understand how to do business, follow the laws, and obey the laws in California. Well, for starters, you're in the right place. If you're working with BIDA and the BIDA program, this is the best place for you to start your exploration of this career. It's a great way to kind of dip your toes into the water and say, hey, do I like this? Do I not? And even if you change your mind, you've got elective credits that can get you into any of the UC programs, any of the programs nationally. So you're in the right place for starters. I think the other thing you need to be mindful of as you explore this activity is realize you may touch a component of the building industry that you thought you liked, and okay, I thought I'd be an architect. I don't want to be an architect. I thought I'd be an engineer. Don't want to be an engineer. Hey, I want to be somebody who cares about the environment. So how do you build housing and reduce greenhouse gas? You're an environmentalist. Maybe you like the finance side of housing. You're like, hey, I'm the banker type, and I'm a young woman who wants to be a banker. So you're like, okay, so how do you finance homes? And there's so many components to housing. And so what's so great about BIDA is that you can kind of explore all those options. And sometimes you're like, I don't want to be in an office. I don't want to be a banker. I just want to be outside. I want to develop the land and make it beautiful and have communities where people love to live, work, eat, play. I want to create the community of the future. You're in the right place too. So, I mean, all this to me is an exciting time to be involved with BITA and the home building industry, but don't hesitate to expand your mind to new opportunities. And because you're the future of home building and the future of this industry, I may not even be thinking of things that you will create way beyond my ability to understand. And that's what's so great about this industry, is it has so much of a future look, and you can be part of changing the future for housing. One, reach out to people in a human way. I know it's hard in the COVID world right now, but going forward, reach out and write personal notes, call people up, talk to them, ask them questions. People love to talk about themselves, which you're hearing me do right now. But ask people when you're walking a job site, maybe in the BITA program, they take you to a job site, have 3 or 4 questions in your mind. 19 times out of 20, they're say, anybody have any questions? Have a question. Say, hey, what got you into this career? Where did you start? People love to talk about themselves. And then, thank people. I know it sounds simple, but when you're done, walk up and thank the person who did the program, because afterwards they may come up to the head of the BITA program and say, who was that young lady who thanked me? She was really engaged. I loved her. Can I find out more about her? Because we're looking for talent. Those are the people who are remembered, are the people who engage. So thank you for this opportunity today to share my thoughts with you. BITA is a great program, and you should feel really good about where you are. I do want you to know, I talked about the government political side, and you may say, I want nothing to do with that, which is great. There's so many other choices. And so as you look at the BITA program, you look at opportunities for your career, realize that you can finish this program and immediately start by building the house physically. You may say, hey, I don't really want to move to that yet. I want to go into another part of the industry. I want to be an engineer, an architect, a designer, marketer. Great. That's fantastic too. We need that in the industry. You may want to be a lawyer. You can't build a home without a lot of lawyers. Like I said, you maybe want to be a banker. There's so many components of what it takes. There's 1 million people in California that are directly involved in the building industry. And each month we produce over $5 billion worth of commerce directly just in building homes, commercial properties, residential you buy, residential you rent. So it's a very robust, dynamic industry. And for that reason, you should be very creative in how you look at it. Last thing I just want to say is take advantage of this opportunity to find out what really makes you excited about this industry. And then from that, develop your career path. And you may find out, hey, I don't like being outside, it's too hot, or I can't stand being inside, it's too boring. So find your comfort zone, build on that piece that you like, and then explore it deeply. And then don't hesitate to even start to work for a builder and then realize, hey, I could do more and make more if I got some additional education. Our chairman of our board started swinging hammers, now has a multi-million-dollar company. So it's still America, it's still California. Dream big, go for these opportunities, but above all, don't stop and just rest. Challenge yourself to find your next opportunity, your next goal, in your future. So thanks for the opportunity of being with you today, and I hope this was helpful, and I wish you the best.